Hi, everyone. Sorry for the delay. We are experiencing a few technical difficulties, but we are very,
Hi,
very...
everyone. Sorry for the delay. We are
Oh
experiencing
no,
a
I'm
few
hearing
technical
myself on an
difficulties.
echo.
Hi, everyone. Sorry for the delay. We are
Oh
experiencing
no,
a
I'm
few
hearing
technical
myself on an
difficulties.
echo.
Hi, everyone. Sorry for the delay. We are
Oh
experiencing
no,
a
I'm
few
hearing
technical
myself on an
difficulties.
echo.
Hi, everyone.
We're going to try this again. We are experiencing some technical difficulties, but we have an amazing show planned for you
We're
guys.
going to try this again. We are
And
experiencing
we
some
cannot
technical
wait
difficulties.
for Jessica and Mike to kick it off. So just give
We have
us
an
a
amazing
few
show
minutes
planned for you
and
guys.
we will be
Again,
live
we are
soon. And we
experiencing some
cannot
technical
wait
difficulties.
for
Hey, Mike Gingerich here with Magnet Marketers, waiting on Jessika, but we're going to get rolling with a little bit of information orientation here. So excited for the lineup of speakers, which is going to start at 3:15, so in a few minutes here. But we are pumped. This is the show to get you a sneak peek, insider's back view of Social Media Week Lima, which is coming up next week. And there's still a few tickets available if you do want to come and be there at the live event. But we have a excellent lineup today. We're going to start off at 3:15 with a number of speakers. First up is going to be Rich Brooks, Jordache Johnson, Juntae DeLane, Phil Pallen coming in, Jennifer Ask, Kate Paine, Chad Ia Peterson, our MC for the event, and Mark Suter also coming in, and finishing up with Crystal Tosh. We're going to go till just about 5 o'clock. So I think that it's going to be pumped up. We're going to be asking them two questions as they get started. We're gonna number one, you're going to hear their bio, their background, a little bit about them, and what they're speaking on in Lima, and why this is an important, relevant topic. Remember, our theme is co-create, so we're going to be talking about that. And I'm going to start us off here a little bit with, what does co-create mean to me? And Jessica and I have been doing this live show. 2014, 2015, I forget when our first one. We started out on a thing called Blab, and that was way back and no longer exists, a social platform. It looked like Hollywood Squares. And am I dating myself? Anybody know what Hollywood Squares was? That was a platform where you had these like celebrities in boxes, right? And so that's how Blab was, and we used to talk and do that. So but that was us doing that together, trying to provide value about relationship marketing, and all that means. So co-creating to me is just that that synergy of collaboration that multiplies an end result. It's where 1 + 1 results in 4. I mean, it magnifies the results. That's what co-create is. What am I most looking forward to at the event? Number one is a whole lineup of speakers that I know. So just being able to reconnect with them, hear the latest and greatest they have to offer. But number two, the lineup has a number of new and exciting speakers that I am pumped up to hear from. So I think this is going to be a awesome event with a lot of value coming in. And for myself, I am speaking at a roundtable on the second day. So that's kind of at the wrap up of things. And that's the point there. So along with my business and life coaching, my table there is going to be ready to answer questions that people have from the conference, basically, to say, okay, I've heard this and I'm not sure what to do with it. We can talk about that. Or somebody's saying, hey, so-and-so talked about this. I'm thinking about this for my business. What do you think? I can give them some input on that piece. So that's what my piece is going to be about as we talk about that. So looking forward to this. Want to welcome some people. Olivia, going to see you then. Jeff Howell's going to be there. Jeff is on. Kate's already on here today. Kara, welcome as well today. So we've got people coming in. And Jeff, thank you for that. Sounds great, Mike. Looking forward to seeing you again coming in. You're coming in from Michigan. I'm coming in from Pennsylvania. And we're going to co-create there, right? Because we're going to be doing things together. And Chad Ia Peterson has some great ideas from his MC standpoint. He's coming in later today, so I don't want to steal his thunder. He can talk about that himself. But there's multiple things. Jessica and I have talked recently about, even on the show here, about some of the ways we're seeing brands do this. And one of the examples was a real estate agent and a mortgage broker. Okay. And so doing a digital marketing together, a digital ad together that showcases them both, because in that transaction process, you need both, right? You're going to have a real estate agent handle the transaction for your purchase, and you're going to have a mortgage likely involved with it, right? And so that is co-creating. It is two, near parties and getting greater bang for that dollar in their marketing budget there. And so that's going to be an opportunity that you're going to see over and over again, those kind of ideas. How can you partner up with someone? How can you connect with someone? And then, how do you do it on the various and different social platforms? So Social Media Lima, Social Media Week Lima, and happening next week, Wednesday morning and Thursday, those 2 days. Going to be a great event. So we want to just about kick things off today. I am still waiting for Jessica, but we are committed to keeping on time. So we are about a minute away from bringing in Rich Brooks. And again, we're going to have some more people coming on. Jordache, Juntae DeLane, Phil, Pallen, Jennifer Ash, Kate Payne, Chad, Ia Peterson, Mark Suter, Crystal Tosh, all coming with us today. Jim Fuse, welcome to you as well. So we want to talk about, I want to hear from the speakers on what they're going to talk about. And we want to then dive in a little deeper on why this is important, what it means to them, and go forward with that. So I think at Jessica, just got a note from her that says she is joining. And guess what? She was taking in the special gift for speakers, and they were coming to her door. That's not why she's not here right now. She's having a little technical difficulty, but the special gift for speakers was arriving today, and she was going to be bringing those in. It's, something everybody always likes. It's fun. Everybody likes to see that. So I think if Julia or Chad, you are out there, and we want to bring in Rich Brooks to keep us on time here at 3:15. I am good with that. If one of you can bring in Rich. Welcome, Rich.
Hey, I'm here. How you doing?
I am doing well. And if you were listening to us a little bit, Jessica's having a little technical difficulties, and I've been doing the solo hosting as we kick off here today, but we are excited to have you in person next week at the conference, and also to have you on the show today to give a little sneak peek of that. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself a little bit, and also first off, then say what your topic is going to be.
Sure. So my name is Rich Brooks, and I'm the president of Flight New Media, a digital agency that's been in business for just over 25 years now. And I also, I also run the Agents of Change, which is a weekly podcast as well as an annual conference when there's not a global pandemic. I'm glad that Jessica restarted hers. So I've been doing that every year, but missed the last couple of years. Hopefully we will be back in business next year. and very much looking forward to coming to Lima, Ohio. I am going to be doing a brand new presentation, so I'm absolutely terrified. And it's called The Remarkability Formula, and it's all about how businesses can stand out online and off, what you need to do.
Online and off. Okay, how you can stand out. Okay, excellent, excellent. So, as you kind of weave that into the theme of co-creation, do you have any ideas, thoughts to just put out there for someone on what your topic means and what that could mean for doing that with someone else? I guess co-create.
Yeah, so that's a great question. And I was really hoping you wouldn't ask me because I have no idea. No, I'm just kidding to a degree. As an agency, everything we do with our clients is an act of co-creation. We can't just demand that they do one thing, and nor can they do it without us. So everything we do is co-creation. And to that end, a lot of what I will talk about in the presentation, many of the examples that I'm going to use on different ways in which you can either identify or create something remarkable about your business often comes from a state of co-creation. Sometimes you're working with somebody else, whatever the case may be, but there are ways for brands to stand out. And the reason why I think this is so important is because, 10 years ago, just being on social media was enough. But obviously, as every business out there has realized that social media and other forms of digital marketing like SEO and email marketing are critical to their business, more and more businesses jump in. It's harder and harder to distinguish yourself. And you can only make incremental gains by making your Facebook ads a little bit better or your website a little bit more optimized. So what I'm going to try and show people is a process that they can take their company through that will help identify and name what makes them remarkable. And if they really are struggling with this, what kind of things they can create outside the brand that will really make them remarkable as well.
Outside the brand. Okay, that will make them remarkable. Okay, good. So I would say that sounds like highly practical, right? So people should be able to take away some specific things and go from there. Good. I'm going to open it up here. So if anybody wants to ask Rich a question as well, you can drop that in the comments and we might cherry pick one and or two, and we'll see where we go with that. So Rich as well, this is going to be your first time at the conference.
Yes.
Do you know
my first time in
much
Lima.
about it? First time in Lima, Ohio as well. Got it. So anything specific that you know about the conference, have heard, seen that you're looking forward to?
Well, I have had a number of my friends who have spoken at Social Media Week Lima before, and they've had nothing but awesome things to say. So I'm really excited to go out there. Part of me is just like, I'm so excited to be at a social media or a digital marketing in-person event again. It has it was Social Media Marketing World 2020 was the last in-person event I spoke at, except for one real estate event that I spoke at towards the end of last year. Everything else has been virtual since then. There's the woman of the hour.
There she is.
And so part of my enjoyment, it's just going to be able to see all these people and press the flesh and break bread with people. Honestly, like I'm almost moved to tears just thinking about what it's going to be like to hug people who I haven't seen in person for over 2 years. That alone is going to be worth the price of admission, plus all these great other presenters who are going to be there.
Yes, absolutely. Welcome, Jessika.
Hello. You guys are rocking it. Sorry, apologize. Technical issues once one happens and the other. And all the while, like Rich said, I'm just happy to see people. I'm happy to see you here right now, first of all, and happy that I will be able to see all of you in person next week as well. So yay, looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So we were taking a look at, Chad, he likes bread. Yes. You mentioned that we're going to break bread together. So we got Chad chiming in there.
I do like bread. If anybody wants to bring me a fresh loaf during or after my presentation, the answer is yes. I was actually on an island kayaking trip this weekend, and we just had this island to ourselves, and some boat pulls up and they're like, "We heard you out here. We just baked a loaf of sourdough bread and we thought we'd bring it out." And it was like so steaming hot we could barely touch it. And since all we had brought was red meat to grill on an open fire, it was a great
Perfect.
present for them to give us. Yeah.
Well, since we're all
Yeah.
talking about food here and bread, you will be pleasantly surprised because we have some amazing lunch and breakfast sponsors as well. So breakfast
Nice.
sponsor, the Meeting Place on Market, which people here locally know and love, but they have some amazing pastries and muffins, and they're going to have a yogurt bar and all of that for everybody to eat breakfast. And then lunch, day one is Joey's Subs, which has some amazing bread for their subs. And then day two is going to be 1820 Brew Works, where they'll have an amazing salad bar and their yummy garlic breadsticks, as well as a baked potato bar. So lots of good yummies for you to eat, and bread all the while. We like our carbs here in Ohio, so
All right, good.
we don't shy away.
There he is. That Vermont maple syrup comment went boom and it was gone. But that sounds tremendous as well, Kate. I mean, yes, from Vermont. Wow, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
I would bring lobster, but I just don't think they travel well on the plane. I don't know if I have to check them or if they put them underneath the plane. So you'll just have to take my word for it. Also, lobster is ridiculous. Lobster rolls are going for over $40 a lobster roll right now in Maine. So
Yeah.
too expensive.
Love it. Love it. Love it. And I don't know where you left off with the questions, Mike, but I know I have not seen Rich speak publicly. I don't think I've seen you speak on stage in person. I've only watched the YouTube video, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I know your just how you've grown your agency and how many people that you've helped through your method. So I'm really excited to watch you in person, and I know our community is really going to love it. But yeah, this is your first time coming to Lima, Ohio. So
I know I'm excited for that. And I think I told you, this is the first time I've done this presentation. It's something I was working on during COVID. I'm no joke. I'm pretty terrified actually right now, but that'll probably make me work harder to do as good a job for you as possible. But I'm very excited about the topic, and it is based on a lot of the work that we've done with clients over the years, outside of just like the specific social media stuff, but to really understand what makes a brand valuable to their customer base. And I think some of the Cocreate stuff is going to fit in nicely with this as well.
Awesome.
yeah, I know we talked through it, and I have no doubt that you were going to deliver amazingness, because I've speak to a lot of speakers, and many of them have, and I know you are already an established, well-known presenter all over, but some people that hit our stage are the first time presenters and they get really nervous. And one cool thing about our conference is that, and I am a little biased, but is that I bring in people that know what they're talking about and they have the results to prove it. And that's one thing I can really say about what you do, and no matter what you're going to present, is that you know your stuff and you have proven it through your work. So no matter what, people are going to get value out of what you share.
I certainly hope so. We have been doing this for quite some time. I actually have employees who are younger than my company working for me right now, which goes to say something right there.
Yeah. I mean, 25 years. Congratulations. That was hopefully you celebrated that milestone well. I mean, that's tremendous.
I took the team down to Fenway and we caught a Red Sox game, which some people might say is a punishment, but they did win. So, it was still good. We even swung by my old apartment in Jamaica Plain and took a group photo in front of the apartment where I started Flight New Media.
Where it all started.
Kind of fun too. Yeah.
Awesome.
It always starts in a garage or, a house or a coffee shop, something like that. But Rich, before we bring in the next speaker here, I just wanted to hear from you. Like, what does Cocreate mean to you, since we talked about it? And hopefully Mike didn't already ask you this question, but what does Cocreate mean to you?
He did, but you know what? There's always people walking in the door, so I'll answer it again. For me, I was saying, as an agency owner, everything is an act of co-creation. So we're constantly working with our clients. We can't tell them what to do. They look to us for guidance or for partnership. So we'll sometimes come to them with an idea, or they'll come to us with assets. And then it's a matter of reworking that and making it something that is really going to resonate with their audience and get their audience engaged and get them to take action. So that's going to be in some of the examples that I'll be using. Some of the stories that I'm going to be telling in my own presentation are acts of co-creation as well, because we were working with clients. Other stories that you may or may not have heard from both global companies and small solopreneurs, just different examples of how you can really identify your remarkability, but certainly some examples of co-creation in there. I'm really excited to see how everybody else is approaching the idea of co-creation too.
Yeah, because it's definitely a blend. We've asked people from all different walks and backgrounds, like, what does it mean to them, and pick stories and what they're doing that is really, I think, going to inspire others to imagine themselves just thinking about business differently, like starting from the inside out. So Another question I want to ask you before we let everybody know where they can find you and we bring in the next speaker is, like, what is one of those things now that you've really taken hold of, like a strategy or a tactic or just something that's really been this aha over the past 2 years that you think brands should really think about right now, whether it's around co-creation or not, but just like if you want to think about one thing that you should be really embracing in your business, what is that right now to you?
That is an excellent question. Was not on the list, so I am going to just have to no. So I would guess that, obviously I could easily say remarkability, come see the presentation, and I do believe that. But the other thing that keeps on popping up every day is consistency. Like, this is one of the things people seem to think that if I get on TikTok and I make one video or two videos, it's going to change the world. And it's not. Like, especially if you're starting from scratch, especially if you're new, it's about showing up every day, every week, every month, and creating value for whatever that means. It means different things to different people, but creating value for others. And it takes time. My podcast was an absolute failure for the first 6 months. I got 0 responses on Twitter for a year. Like, you just don't start and you're a celebrity. You have to spend some time in these different arenas. You have to show up so people start to trust you, and that's when the magic happens. So consistency in your marketing and in your life and in your business, that would be the one thing that I think brands should be thinking about, and how to take everything from Cocreate and work in consistency to it.
Keep showing up. Keep showing up, right? And keep showing up. That's a theme for today. Just getting on this freaking live stream for me. Don't give it up. But Rich, where can people find you online to connect and learn more about you before you show up at Social Media Week Lima?
Sure. If they're just looking to contact me, I am the Rich Brooks on just about every platform. If you like podcasts, check out my Agents of Change podcast. And if you like agencies, but really who does, you can check out Flight New Media at takeflight.com. And I can't wait to see everybody in Lima next week. Really looking forward to it.
Can't wait to see you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you so much for popping on here. We're going to go ahead and let you join and
look forward to meeting you in person, Rich.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Continue. And Mike, I will let you welcome our next guest and speaker that we will be introducing here, and learn a little bit more about them and what they do.
All right. So up number second here is Jordache Johnson. He's coming in. He's an international speaker, digital growth strategist, and business consultant who specializes in helping heart-centered entrepreneurs and experts scale their impact, business, and wealth. I love that. He does that with a systemized approach to creating human connection, building authentic relationships, and turning them into power friends using his signature framework called the Friends Method. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Happy Tuesday. How y'all doing?
Yes,
doing awesome. I mean, just by your bio alone, you're our kind of people. Like, I don't know that I've had a chance to meet you in person, but I've connected with you online. I'm like, that's my people right there. Yeah.
We were in the same building at Social Media Marketing World. We just never crossed paths at Social Media Marketing World this year.
That's all right.
I caught the tail end of your talk on that first day. My plane got in late, but it's all good. Time we'll connect here next week.
It's all meant to be, right? It's
all meant to be, 100%.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to have you come and join us in Lima, Ohio, and reconnect in a room full of other like-minded people just like yourself and Mike and everybody that's really all about caring and relationships and kind of that core, starting from the inside out, as we like to say. But I want to know more about uncovering your talk and what you're going to be sharing in Lima and why you feel like it's important for brands to catch that.
Yes. No, I feel like I'm going to be meeting all my friends that just didn't know we were friends yet here in about a week, which is going to be amazing. So, so my talk's going to be about this concept we call the relationship growth engine. And we're going to show you how to consistently, you guys are talking about consistency real quick with Rich, but how to consistently start unlocking those relationships, we call them power friends, where you can start creating more impact and scaling your revenue, right? I used to run an agency for about 7 years, helping digital entrepreneurs grow and scale their businesses, did some software companies as well. And a lot of the mistakes I see out there happening is everybody wants to focus on strategies or tactics or things that are very short-lived versus really focusing on these concepts of principles, right? Relationship building is a principle. It doesn't matter. We've been doing this since the beginning of time, right? This is just the nature of it. It doesn't matter what technology is out there, what software is out there, what tools or what platforms or algorithms, whatever it may be, you can use this principle and adapt it, right? So when I'm a big believer in looking at your business like a system, because if you don't treat it like a system, it can't run without you. And so when we take and kind of combine those two things together, say, how do we build authentic relationships and human connections consistently using a systemized approach, but still keeping it authentic? And then how do we actually leverage those connections to be able to go co-create, hashtag, to be able to go create more impact in this world? Because really at the end of the day, that's what we're in business for. We always, whenever somebody asks an entrepreneur, what are they in business for? You're going to hear the freedom, you're going to hear, money, whatever it is. Those are all byproducts, right? At the end of the day, right? Those are all the results. But really, if we look at it, if we can focus on the things we can control, which are the things we can do every single day, those results will happen. We don't worry about the money. We don't worry about that. All that stuff will happen if we understand what the inputs are to create those outputs. And so that's when we break things down in a systemized approach, saying, forget about the outputs. Have that in the back of your mind. That's cool. Great. We need a North Star to head towards, but let's just focus on the day-to-day. Let's zone in on what are the things we can do every single day consistently. And then one day we're going to wake up and we're going to be at that place. And that's what we're going to talk about, how to build those relationships consistently and then help us get to those North Stars is what I like to call them. So
Beautiful. Yeah. So again, we want to see if there's any questions out there for Jordache, and we'll allow them to bring them in. But yeah,
I have a question. Anyone else fangirling over here? Like I'm fangirling already, with just what you're bringing, because it's so important, like you said, to have the system to it, right? Like, and that's one thing I feel that needs to be incorporated, because it's great to send a card here and there, or one of your team members kind of doing something to build those relationships. But if it's a part of your process from start to finish, I'm always a fan of like writing your system out, right? And seeing what it would be like as a customer to go through, to buy from you, to get in touch with you, to, stay in touch with you, to renew with you, whatever that looks like. What is their experience on the other end? Where is those friction points, right? Like, where can you remove the friction? Where can you add little moments of personalized, authentic, like you said, moments of delight or relationships? And if you can systematize it and then others know, like, this is just what we do, this is how we operate here, then everybody can be part of it. So it's not just one person within the organization that's doing the thing, right? Like and I love that you said like freedom and all those things are byproducts. But at the end of the day, it's not what we do, but it's how we're doing it, how we're showing up, and how we have this approach to how we show up to make sure that it is consistent and that it's repeatable and that you can grow. That's the only way to get that momentum, sustainable growth at the end of the day.
Yes.
So I'm excited to hear your talk.
I appreciate that. I'm excited as well, because I feel like that's we play the long game. Wherever I'm at, we focus on the long game stuff, right? There's a lot of short-term things we can do in the interim and things like that to get some spikes of growth and things like that. But when you focus on that solid foundation, that slow grow kind of mentality, those are the businesses that are going to be around like Rich for 25 years, still handling business, right? That's the name of the game. He gets it. I saw his sign in the background, hashtag Agents of Change, right? Like it's just do these small things every single day, right? And there's that whole saying: if you get improve 1% every single day, by the end of the year, you're going to be 37 times better than you were at the beginning of the year, right? So it says 1% increments. So that's what we focus on, and it's a fun. It becomes fun then, right? And that's what I really love about this is I joke around and people are like, what do you do? I'm like, I teach people how to make friends. Like that's what it is, right? And it's fun because you just never know the opportunities the doors that are gonna be open. You never even knew existed just by having a conversation with somebody, just by following up with somebody, just by building a relationship with somebody you never knew. Like I was at Social Media Marketing World and I was sitting next to a gentleman in one of the talks. And next thing you know, a week later, we're on a 90-minute call. A week later after that, he's like trying to fly out to Houston to help me whiteboard some things out, right? And he runs a $40 million business. And I'm like, you never even thought about this, right? It's just, you just start these conversations and follow up and be consistent and be authentic and be curious with people. It's a beautiful world that we live in then when you have these frames on, and it's a fun place to be at. So
And I'm so excited for everybody to share those stories like that and your process, right? But those stories, because I feel like once people can see that it's not this hustle, quick fix, get it culture that wins. And I hope that that's one thing that people took out of 2020, 2021 and beyond that has expanded, where everybody kind of got this, Band-Aid
Yeah.
ripped off reality of, no, people aren't going to stay and work for you if you don't have your culture right. It's going to be the great resignation. No,
Yep.
your clients aren't going to stay with you if you don't have the relationship in place or the consistency, or the convenience for them to do business with you. They're not going to stay there. Like, the only thing that works and that is sustainable is if you do have these relationships, and if you do, show up in an authentic way to work for the long game, because people can tell, if you're authentic or not. And it does. I love the word that you use, curiosity, because I feel like that has a lot to do with co-create. So I want to know, though, in your mind, like, what do you feel like the definition of co-create is for you?
Yeah, I'm gonna date myself here a little bit, but I'm gonna go back to my little kid days when I used to watch this cartoon called Captain Planet, right? With our powers combined, we are Captain Planet, right? Because that's what I look at it as. I was like, because I look at it, we all have our own unique superpowers, right? But when we can start combining our superpowers, we're gonna create a bigger impact. We're gonna reach more people. I call it, we break the law of math. 1 + 1 = 4 at that point in time, right? And so that's when I look at co-create, it's creating that win-win win, that triple win to win for you, a win for them, and a win for the people you're serving. That's that co-creation that you're never going to get as an individual. So that's kind of whenever I'm processing co-creation or thinking about it. And that's what we talk about, relationship building and building these power friends, because I always tell people, every conversation, people can usually fall into one of three buckets as an entrepreneur. They can be a connector, they can be a customer, or they can be a collaborator. And it's just a matter of you being able to have enough confidence to have conversations to try to figure out, where would this person fit, or how can I serve this person? And I'm telling you, all three of those people are valuable in your world. When you're an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter what kind of business, what kind of product, digital, physical, whatever. But being able to figure out how you can start combining your superpowers and with all these type of people you interact with on a daily basis, then you become empowered, and then you become unstoppable. You're not relying on algorithms. You're not relying on platforms. You're not relying on all the other things that are great. Not telling you don't use them. It's just, you don't have to, right? You can build a business, a solid foundation on things that you can control versus relying on other people's control and taking that responsibility. So
beautiful. And first time to Lima, Ohio, as you come?
First time, not even gonna lie, I had to look it up on Google Maps. And all right, where am I headed?
What state are you coming from?
I'm down in Houston. I'm in Texas.
Got it. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. All right. Have you? Okay. You've maybe seen things from past little video clips or things like that, but you've at least seen the speaker lineup, things like that. What are you looking forward to beyond what your presentation is?
Yeah, totally. So I've had some friends that have been there. Chad, I'm a good friends with Chad. He's been there multiple times. Fanzo, I know he talks very highly of your guys' conference. He's been there multiple times. So I've gotten some like tidbits from it behind the scenes. But obviously, I go to these events. It's purely, number one, relationships, connections, right? Obviously, that's what I talk about. That's what I eat my own dog food, right? I can't, like I said earlier, I feel like I'm about to go into a room of all my family members I ain't ever met before, right? And it's going to be fun, right? So I always talk about hugs, beers, and after Jessika was talking about food now, because I'm hungry for Joey's and all the other good stuff. So that is 100% what I'm looking forward to, is just, meeting new people and figuring out how can I serve some of these people and help some of these people and really just give them another way to think about how they could potentially grow their impact in their business, and just give them an option that says there's no zeros or one way approach to growing your business. Here's another option that you may want to evaluate and see if it fits with you. So.
Beautiful. No, looking forward to having you come in. And Jessika, where do you want to go with this now?
Yeah, no, I just love that you said like some of the people that you know and that they're talking about the event, and that's how you heard about it, because you had to look up Lima, Ohio on the map. And I feel like that really does tie in with kind of what you were saying with co-create and how brands can think about this. Like, I like to say a lot now that it's not about word of mouth anymore. It's world of mouth, right? Like Lima, Ohio is a super small town in a super small town, surrounded by cornfields and trains and, but great people as well. But the thing about relationships, and why you hear a lot of these speakers that are talking about relationships, if you're watching in and you own a business and you're like, what is all this woo-woo stuff? But it matters because people now are not just worried about this world of mouth. So when people start sharing and talking about how you're making them feel, whether that's at your business, at your event, at, when they connect with you, and you just said you met somebody at Social Media Marketing World, and then you guys took time to invest in one another, and then that ended up into a conversation that ended up to a business relationship. That's how we have to think about things within our business, and not be so disconnected to think that it's just transactional, right? It's so much belonging or buying anymore that we have to focus on relationships first, whether somebody's going to buy from me or not, because Brian's not a client of mine. Chad's not a client of mine. Well, I'm a client of Chad's now, but either way, we're still talking about one another in a positive light. And Jordache, I'm going to be talking about you in a positive light because, like just how you show up, right? And that's where it starts. So that's one thing I think that people get good examples of, not only how to co-create and build community and build relationships, but also some of those magic moments that turn into some of the biggest deals that you could have done within your business, and that longevity and all of that. So, I think you definitely get relationship marketing, but if there was one other tip that you could share with businesses, that things that they need to focus on now, what would you say that is right now?
Yeah, totally. I will tell you, actually, I was on my walk this morning, and this was, I talk to myself on my walks, right? I have my otter going and I talk to myself. And this is something that I was having a conversation with somebody about this last week, actually. I keep seeing over and over through conversations, I feel like entrepreneurs are missing the boat of understanding what are those really true lever points in their business that move the needle. Everyone wants to talk about revenue generating activities, right? Is another thing to think about that. But I talk about even one step deeper with, like, what are those leverage points that you can pull that will basically let you work less but have a bigger impact, right? So I think taking the time to, like you were saying earlier, Jessika, mapping out systems or things that you're doing and looking at it from a visual, like, what are those things that's my role as a CEO of the business, not my team's role, my role that I can do every single day that will increase that leverage in my business, and taking the time to do that and slow down to speed up, right? That's really that's something I know I'm focused on coming up over the next 90 days, is really looking in my business and figuring out those points. So that's one thing I would definitely say. And then I mentioned it earlier, but I still feel like I see it happening quite often where people still do not treat their business like a system, like an engine, like something that can run without them. We still face that conundrum of, it's my baby, or this is what I'm working on, or whatever. And people are building a business where it can't run without them. And that's a scary place to be at, especially if you want to grow and scale. You're going to get burnt out. I know that's a dead end road, and I'll tell you how it's going to end. And so being able to make sure that you're not going down that path and documenting processes and training your team and building the culture of empowering your team members to make mistakes and take lead, things along those lines, that is vitally important, especially in today's world. And I know fans are going to talk about Web3 and crypto and NFTs. And I'm telling you that the world that we're going to be going into, it's going to be even more important. So start now is what I'm going to tell you right now. But all jokes aside, that's really what's going to, those are two things I would just encourage people to take a moment, take a breath of fresh air, and just think about in their business, leverage points, and looking at your business like a system.
I feel like you can just mic drop that right there, because that is so freaking true. You have to be able to create consistency and the only way to do that is system, because everybody has to have that same experience in order to make it memorable and just sustainable over time, especially like you said, what we're moving into. You have to, you have to trust and let go and slow down to speed up. I think that is very, very wise words. So Jordache, I know 15 minutes goes so super fast. I cannot wait to meet you next week in person and do the hugs and beers and food, as you said. There's definitely all that. We're all fans of that here in Lima. But before then, if people want to connect with you and learn a little bit more about you, where's the best place that they can connect?
Yeah, totally. I will tell you two things. You want to have a conversation, find me on any of the DMs, right? I'm a big believer of respond DMs. Now, don't give me one of these walls of text and trying to get me to join a Facebook group. Rather than don't do that. But you can find me. I'm at Jordache Johnson on all the socials, or jump on my email list at jordachejohnson.com is be an easy place to if you want to kind of start entering my world and hear what we talk about over in here in the Grow with Friends department I talk about. So.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Wonderful.
Love it.
Look forward to meeting you in person.
You as well. Appreciate y'all's time and good luck for the rest of the day.
Right. Thank you. All right. Before we bring in the next guest, I would love to just mention everybody, if you've not heard of Social Media Week Lima, or you are still on the fence and want to know the full lineup, because we're just introducing a few speakers here, please visit sociallima.com. There are still some tickets available for purchase. Now we have 2 more speakers that are going to be coming in and sharing this 15 minutes. So Mike, I'll let you briefly introduce them.
Yeah, let me get some bios going. All right. Juntae DeLane is coming in. He's a sought after strategist, thought leader, influencer. He's been on our show before. He's the founder and CEO at Digital DeLane, full service digital marketing agency, and the founder of Digital Branding Institute. He's been noted in top social media content marketing influencer, spoken around the world, the practice of digital marketing. If you can't catch him on stage, you can probably find him in the gym doing his 1,000 push-up. Welcome, Juntae.
Hey, everyone. How you guys doing?
All right. Doing well. And we're also going to be joined by Phil, my man, Pallen, who's a personal branding expert, keynote speaker. He's got a non-conventional approach to digital marketing and talent for social media, has built him a global audience. His Instagram stories are like spectacular beyond mention. He's a brand strategist and has advised hundreds of brands from over 30 countries, including a shark on the Shark Tank. He's also advised a Nobel Peace Prize winner, politicians, some of the most important names in entertainment. He's a digital nomad. He is my man. He is Phil. Welcome.
Hi, cuties. I'm so happy to see your face. And we get to see each other in real life in like less than a week. Who's counting? Me. I am.
Me. Yes. So me. Look at this. I can't even. Like, my face is going to hurt so bad after this because I just keep smiling so hard with all the people that are joining in with us today. And this is only just a fraction of our speakers. So I'm so excited to hear both of you speak. Both of you have been to Social Media Week Lima before, different years when you've been speakers, but you're coming back talking about something new. So I want to kind of round robin and just hear just a snippet of what you're going to be sharing in Lima and why that's important, you feel, for everyone to hear. And let's start, I'll go backwards. I'll start with you, Phil, first.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm excited to come see your faces in real life. Lima, Ohio is not normally on my digital nomad map list of destinations, but I'll do it for the two of you. I'm so excited. I had so much fun a few years ago when I was there with you. My talk this year will be called Steal My Content Strategy. Even when I think about the years that have passed since I was in Lima, social media has always been a big part of my brand. It's been a big part of my business, but I would say even in the last year and a half, it's really evolved in a major way. So I'm reflecting on exactly how I've developed, refined, and tweaked to the slightest detail my own content strategy. I create a lot of freaking content. I show up every week twice on YouTube, 2 videos a week. I have a podcast that has been instrumental in our business growth. Mike mentioned my Instagram stories, which I sometimes have too much fun with. Not just stories, I do live videos and I do all kinds of things. I started posting last week on TikTok. I've got a bunch of followers on Pinterest. Obviously, personal branding is a big part of what I do. Now starting to do paid and sponsored and branded content. All of this has evolved so quickly in just honestly the last, I'd say, year and a half. And I can't wait to share what I've learned, very specifically, very tangible, favorite tools, you name it, with our friends out in Lima.
I love it. I can't wait because you do create some good content. And Juntae, I know you probably aren't going to be sharing how to create do 1,000 push-ups, but we would like to know because, as Jacqueline said, it would take me months to do 1,000 push-ups. But that's just one of your skills, right?
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. What will you be sharing in Lima?
Yeah, I'm really excited to come back to Lima. I gotta say, I have to go. I forget the name of that burger chain that has a whole bunch of dolls. What is it called again?
Cupie.
Yeah.
To make
So
it babies
I want
everywhere.
to finally get a chance to actually eat there for lunch. But yeah, I'm really excited to come back and speak. So I'm going to be speaking about marketing in the new normal. So when we think about how some of our target audiences have been impacted by the pandemic and all that stuff, I want to talk about different insights and how we can use the new behaviors of those consumers, the new thoughts, challenges, fears, and so on, how we can shape our communications around it, and then provide you with some just overall insight on a little bit of future-proofing your brand through the metaverse and Web 3.0 and things like that, even as well. I know Fanzo's also going to do an awesome job at that, so I'm really looking forward to his session as well. And just the speakers that we have, I mean, oh my gosh, they're like, everyone's top notch. Everyone has a ton of personality. It's just a bunch of fun, right? And so I always love to be in those types of environments, and hanging out in Lima, man, it's definitely one of those places where we could have a lot of fun and learn a lot of things as well.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Just so thrilled for the speaker lineup. The topics that you guys are bringing and the different pieces there. I want to go around to that co-create concept, the theme, obviously, and kind of get your take on that. So, Juntae, maybe back to you for that one. And if you were going to define that a little bit, what that means to you, and how you see that working today. What else do you want to say about that?
Yeah, I love the co-create theme, because the bottom line here is that, when you're creating content, you should certainly focus on amplification of that content, right? But you're already a step ahead if you look to co-create in terms of having a partner, collaborator on that content, because now you're reaching out automatically into their audience and vice versa. So you already are on the right foot when you're thinking about co-creating, right? In terms of expanding your awareness of that piece of content, as an example. And then just I love the fact of how there's more collaborations that you see when it comes to content creation now, probably more than ever before, right? Because you have more people entering into the space, sort of doing some of the same things, but now people are starting to realize that your viewpoint, your lens, your spin on that perspective may be slightly different, right? And that is certainly valuable. And if you partner with someone or a collaborator within the same industry or field, you guys can provide two unique perspectives that then provides even a better piece of content, right? As an example. Yeah. So I definitely love the co-create theme, and I'm looking forward to digging down and learning from the other speakers as well.
All right. Now, Phil, I want to twist the question a little bit for you, and that is because you talked about how you're getting a little bit more called upon for you to be an influencer, represent some product brands, that type of thing. So let's talk to those who are coming a little bit about why that concept might be helpful for them to think about for their business.
Yes. This topic excites me because, and it's totally in line with this idea of co-create.
Absolutely.
We as entrepreneurs, as business owners, small business owners, I'm not talking big, mega influencers. I'm talking about everyday people all over the world now have this really exciting opportunity on the internet where many of us have brick and mortar businesses that exist in real life. Really, creating a brand online is about achieving consistency between the in-person experience and the online version. There are so many opportunities right now to co-create and get paid for it with brands that are looking not necessarily, as I said, for mega influencers, but everyday people that have sometimes a small but fiercely loyal audience, to put forth recommendations, reviews, try out apps and software, you know, it was literally about a year ago that the first brand emailed me after I was posting consistently on YouTube for 6 months. They said, hey, would you be willing to review our app or our software? We'll pay you for it. I was like, yes. And that's how it started, Mike. That now I do it every single week. You know, I collaborate. One of my biggest brands that I'm sure I'll talk about on stage next week is Adobe Express. I partner with them to create content and share all kinds of cool features. And I guess what I mean, maybe it's weird to talk about the money, but I think it's significant. I've grown essentially a new business vertical doing brand deals, co-creating sponsored content. Last year, I made almost $50,000 as, you know, doing a hobby, doing this side gig. You don't have to be a brand strategist. You don't have to be a super big expert. You can be an everyday, open TikTok and you'll see people popping zits and plumbers taking us on their day-to-day adventure. The internet is crazy right now, and it is prime and ready for these kinds of brand deals. And that's, you know, I get really excited talking about this.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Jessika, I don't know if you caught that, but we just went through the kind of the co-create, what it means to them. And I asked Phil specifically about that kind of the influencer connection there in co-creation.
Yeah. No, I love what you shared, Phil. And honestly, I think people are going to see this trend too, and something I'm going to be mentioning too in the opening keynote when I'm talking about just what this looks like. The co-create commerce is what I'm going to be talking about and kind of introducing the talk as we get into everybody else's talk. But you'll notice on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, as you mentioned, creators are receiving commerce because of how they're creating, and they're creating for their community in a big way, whether they're a brand or not. Like you just said, it could be anyone, a plumber, the Dr. Pimple Popper or whatever. And there's other people that do that, which I can't.
No, I can't either. I'd like to clarify, that's not my content of choice.
Yeah,
it appears and I'm like, swipe, no, ew, gross.
If that shows up in my For You feed, something went terribly wrong. Okay, but I'm just saying, like, people will pay. I send money for people that inspire me or teach me something that, you know, I didn't know, and I can send just a quick little rose or whatever it is. And this is the new commerce that brands can be embracing in the future, and have to think of it that way, from the level where people are creating just because of what they know and what they're sharing and what their expertise is in. But then if you can think about this on a brand scale as well, and empowering your team, kind of going back to what was shared, you know, earlier by Jordache, and talking about like not trying to hold it all as a brand, that you as the owner have to do it all, like empowering your team to be creators too, co-create with them. This is going to open up a whole new window of commerce for your business. But we are going to talk about this all day. We're going to be talking about it for 2 days straight in Social Media Week Lima next week, the 15th and 16th. So if you've not got your tickets, you don't know what we're talking about, go to sociallima.com and you'll be able to see people like Phil and Juntae. And Juntae, I want to hear from you too, what you feel, unless you already asked him, because technology is not my friend today. We're not co-creating technology and I today, but we're working on it.
I got a question.
Something cool? Wait, I want to say something.
Yep.
Sorry for interrupting you. I've actually co-created with Juntae before. I did your summit a few years ago. I participated in something that you did. When I saw you on the speaker lineup, I was like, I'm coming to Lima. We've even co-created. How cool is that? We get to meet.
Yeah. Before it was even a thing. Collaboration is key. Absolutely. And you were dropping gems back then. I see you're still dropping gems now, Phil. So
honey, I'm bringing my gems to Lima. You better be ready to hold these gems in your pocket.
That's right. It's going to be spilling over. Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, no. Juntae, you define kind of what co-creation is to you, and this is going to be your second time back, right, to Social Media Week Lima. So what are you excited about from a conference perspective?
Yeah, I mean, so for one, I'm not sure if they're giving more versions of the bobblehead dolls, but I feel like that's like a classic thing. And I mentioned this earlier, even before I knew about Social Media Week Lima, I saw all my speaker friends with these bobblehead dolls, and I'm like, where are they getting this? And then I went on Jessika's profile. I was like, aha, there it is. And so I think it's the best speaker gift. So outside of that, what I would say is just the lineup that is the programming that's scheduled for the speakers beforehand. I mean, they do a really good job. Now Media Group is did an excellent job in really welcoming all the speakers from the events they have before the conference to the activations at the hotel, the whole nine. I mean, a lot of the stuff you people don't see, but we really hang out. We really hang out. We really kick it with all the speakers. So that's certainly something I'm looking forward to.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, lots of relationships are formed both before, during, and after the event. And that's why I say for everyone, like, that's a reason to come to the event. Can you watch things on YouTube and read a blog and get some information? Absolutely. But you're not going to have the same impact that you will have if you take the time and you hang out and you learn about Phil's travels. If you learn about Juntae's, like, humor, and like we're sitting around a table and playing What Do You Meme and really getting to know one another, right? Like really getting to know one another that way, or just, just having those personal connections, and everybody is just on the same level. We all go through the same experience together, through the presentations that are shared, also in the after hours and the hangouts. And that's the magic of coming to an in-person event and truly making these connections that will be remembered forever. And people will be willing to come back to Lima, Ohio, to hang out, even though they're used to traveling to really swanky places in Mexico and abroad.
Turkey,
like, no,
Romania, Greece.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love it. You guys are amazing. I cannot wait to see you again next week. It's
Thank you,
been
guys.
too long. But I thank you for
Can't
taking some
wait.
time out today, even just to share a sneak peek at what you'll be talking about. Definitely pop in the chat. I know we went a couple minutes over here, where people can connect with you online too, as we bring in the next speakers, and can't wait to see you in person.
thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Sure.
Thank you.
See
See
you
you
guys
next
soon.
week.
You're the
All right.
best.
IRL. Yep.
All right, bye. All right, Mike, you want to introduce our next peoples?
All right. We've got some wonderful ladies coming up here. We have Jennifer Watson, my friend, who's the senior social media manager at Active Campaign. She's a meteorologist by training. She is on the Weather Channel. What is it? Weather Going Wild? She'll tell me what it is. Okay. She's a speaker, podcaster, dynamic talent with a passion for every aspect of digital media. So we're looking forward to her coming in. She's been a speaker here before, social media marketing world, social shakeup, just to name a few. Welcome, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you guys? I'm so excited
good.
to be here, and I can't wait to see everyone. That's the thing. I can't wait to see everyone.
Save.
All right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm super
Wonderful.
pumped. This is going to be amazing.
Totally pumped. Yep. All right, let me bring in Kate Payne as well. She's the founder and CEO of Standing Out Online. She helps executives and entrepreneurs stand out online so they become a recognized authority in their marketplace and a respected asset to their company and clients. She uses her journalism and marketing skills to tease out her clients' compelling stories to help her clients position themselves as experts and leaders through both online and offline. She's a LinkedIn expert and uses the tool as a powerful personal branding platform and speaks at national marketing conferences about personal branding strategies and social media. Welcome, Kate.
Hi, everybody. So happy to be here. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Mike. And Jennifer. Here we are.
Kate, I can't wait to
Yes.
see
I
you.
know, me neither.
It's going to be epic. It's going to be so awesome.
I think I posted somewhere today. I'm like, I think next week's going to be my version of summer camp.
It is, and somebody already commented on that today as well, and boom, that's what it is truly. I mean, it's because it's just a gathering of the speakers, kind of set the tone. Jessica's team has put that together in a wonderful way, and the lineup, the camaraderie, the energy that flows, just like a camp experience. Yes.
I see Judy Fox is on. Judy, I can't wait to meet you in real life.
Yes.
Fellow LinkedIn expert.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. I can't believe you two have not. The
I know,
world
we've
can
done that.
implode
I
when
know.
you
It's
two
kinda
all
weird.
come
I've
together.
been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
By the way, Jessica, I have to say your dress or shirt or whatever is on point.
I know.
And I hope you
Told
wear
her,
that
I
at the
told
event.
her that
I
as
hope you
well.
wear
Yeah.
that at the event.
It's stunning. I was noticing it too.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you look amazing.
I had to get dressed up for all you amazing people. I'm like, I got to do my best, And then my computer shuts down today, but that's okay. I was just too excited too. It was just like, all the
You need
things
to
I wanted to do
overload.
it so bad. Yeah, overload. That's a good way to put just information that you can apply immediately and you're so excited to overload. But we definitely make sure at the event that everyone has a chance to not only take in the information and not just give you a bunch of to-dos, but like how to get started is what we do on day 2 at the event. So you definitely won't have too much information overload. It's going to be this excitement. It's a summer camp that you feel like you just met a whole bunch of new friends that are going to also help you get started. So I want to hear from both of you a little bit sneak peek of what you're going to be sharing and talking about that you'll be helping the community kind of take away and implement into their business right away. And I'm going to do this backwards. So let's start with you, Kate.
Okay. So I am going to be talking about creator mode on LinkedIn. No better topic than for a co-create theme to talk about creator mode. So creator mode is one of those things that people are like, I see it. What is it? Do I turn it on? And so my presentation is going to be about considering it because it's not for everybody. It just isn't for everybody to turn it on. It does give you access to like LinkedIn Live. It gives you access to newsletters. But I'm going to go through like how you should weigh those things out for each of you, for the people in the audience. Does this make sense? Does it not? So that you'll get a really good in-depth feel for creator mode on LinkedIn.
Beautiful. No, that's very, very practical and very relevant. And I'm one of those asking those questions like, okay, what all does that do? And so that's going to be powerful. Jennifer, how about yourself?
Oh my gosh. So many things. I'm not going to give it all away, but I'm going to talk about hyper growth. And a little bit about already holiday planning and getting you to think about that when it relates to email marketing. Email marketing is so powerful. And I believed in email marketing before, but it wasn't until I actually worked for an email marketing tool that I was like, holy crap, like everyone needs to have like email marketing, automation set up and all of those things because I love community. Jessika, obviously, Mike, everyone, it's all about building that community, right? Social media is great for building a community, but you don't own your followers. You don't own those channels, those accounts or anything. You want to be able to drive people to somewhere and having an email newsletter, email list, building those out and having those automations like a welcome email or, what you left in your cart email because, I'm a mom and Zara pulls me away all the time. And like, I'll be shopping around and I'll forget that I have a dress or something else. And if I don't get a reminder that I left something in my virtual cart, I probably will forget about it because I'm so busy. So I break all those different things down along with that collaborating, co-creating with other people. It's so powerful when you help each other, right? Even if it's a competitive business or something like that, when you guys work together, it only elevates each other. And so I'm going to be talking about some of those ways as well and just getting really prepped. I'm all about holiday prep right now, even though like it's still June, we're just June, but I want everyone to get ready, building your list. You got to start now because you don't want to be spamming your customers, whether it's on social or in email marketing with ads and everything else that you didn't, year round. So yeah.
I love that you said holiday prep, but not so much about the holiday. It's honestly like kind of going back to what Rich and Jordache was saying, and kind of everybody's alluded to a little bit, is not waiting till that holiday. It's getting your stuff in order now of your systems and the reminders and having that consistency on thinking, okay, how do we build in the process so we are staying in touch with people? And it's not just like, hey, we know it's time for you to buy again because it's Christmas or whatever, but like really staying in touch, like those reminder emails that you're talking about. I think the places I shop, really do a great job of reminding me when they know it's like wine o'clock at night, like, hey, you left something in your cart. And they know I'm going to be more tempted to buy like around 7 or 8 p.m. So like, looking at your systems, looking at the tools, knowing your community and saying, how can we stay personalized with them and give them the little nudges? And to your point, Kate, like the creator, studio and the tools that LinkedIn is providing now, like how can you get in touch with those to make sure that we aren't just waiting for those big dates, the holidays, but we're constantly staying in touch with individuals. I think in our community, our people. So it's not that big spam push. I think both of you are spot on with that. And that leads me to our co-create and what we're talking about, because I think you alluded to it a little bit, Jen. First, I'll start with you this way and work our way back to Kate. But what does co-create mean to you?
co-create means to me is just working together to lift each other up, for a common goal, for success. It's, you realize a lot of people say like speakers get speakers gigs, strong women support strong women. It's all about that, right? A lot of times, I guess, like in the past, you'd think, competing against each other and, they can't be successful and I can't be successful at the same time. We're fighting for it always, but you can support each other, and it's your past personality that attracts people to you, right? I learned this when I did the weather. There's 3-4 different stations where you can get the weather forecast, watch the news, and people go to the people that they like, right? The personalities and everything else. And so everyone can be successful in their own way. And I love, the co-create, because when you create together and have someone else joining in on that conversation and having a second mind to brainstorm with, you can create magic. That can be really powerful, lifting both of your communities up, like going live in someone else's community, they go live in your community, and it only can help lift you, right? I mean, that's what it means to me. It's community, supporting each other, and just rising together. And I don't know, I'm a big supporter of that. And I love that it's your theme, Jessika, because I think it's just amazing, powerful, and something that's really come out of this pandemic. And I'm so excited for it.
Stronger together, getting rid of that scarcity mindset, as I like to say. Like, I think you're alluding to that. Like, there's enough work for everyone. More ideas come from people that really get one another and really try to show up in the same way to serve a general community, where you can create some magic. There can be a lot of fun. You're bringing the joy back into business and to community, and just, I think that's one cool thing that, I know Phil was talking about creators and how they're showing up with brands, and now brands are noticing these creators and thinking about how can we co-create with them, not just in an influencer standpoint, but like create with them in another way. Like, I think makeup industry did this, early on with creating like palettes that were inspired by creators, right?
Yeah.
So we talk about it on the basic level too. I know next we're going to be talking about some more technology, VR, AR, kind of that scope of co-create, but there's many ways of co-creating. So Kate, what does co-create mean?
Well, I think I'm going to build on what Jennifer said, because I was actually going to say to me that co-creation to me is about relationship, which is like nurturing, conversation, outcome, like mutual outcome, not just solo outcome. But it made me think of something. So you all know Vivika Von Rosen, the original LinkedIn expert, and one of my really closest friends. But one of the things she said to me years ago when she really kind of mentored me is she said, I don't see you as competition, Kate. It's more about co-opetition. There's so much to go around that the world is a big place. And when we all work virtually, lift others as you climb. You've all heard that. But, give first, share always. Those are values that are part of me and my work and how I live my life. So I love your theme about co-creation. And yes, I see that, Chad. Chad, I cannot wait to meet you in person because I know you're friends with Viv. Little digression there. So the co-create was just such a wonderful theme because it just encompasses so much. One of the other things that came to mind for me too is that co-creation, given what we all do, being somehow in the digital marketing or social media, is also about visibility, but not visibility as an influencer necessarily, but visibility as an opportunity. And so creating, like, putting yourself out on LinkedIn, for example, in a way that is about your whole person self, not just your professional title, is creating visibility for you to showcase your thought leadership. So I could go down a whole road on that.
I love that.
Beautiful. Yes, no. So looking forward to this. So Kate, this is gonna be your first time at the conference events, yes. And Jennifer, obviously been there a few times. So Jennifer, any insider tips you want to give Kate as a returning speaker? Go for it.
It's just awesome. It's a family reunion. I love how everyone's referring to it as summer camp too, but to me, it's like a family reunion. Like it's so wonderful. And the staff at Now Marketing Group, like, they are incredible. You don't feel like you're at a conference. You feel like you're joining a family, and literally Jessika and her team think about everything when it comes to, the guests, the speakers. I mean, if you need something, Jessika's going to be like right next to you. Here you go, Jen. Like it's incredible. And I love it because it's one track, it's intimate,
Right.
and you feel that connection. And what I did before I spoke is I sat down and talked to a couple of the people that were there, the attendees, and I ended up changing my talk based on what they told me and what they wanted to learn and know. And I changed it on the fly. The tech team was amazing because I ended up going live on stage and they were wonderful. But it's an extra special event that you don't get the intimacy, the tight relationship building, and the support and camaraderie in any other conference or event that you do at Now Marketing Group and Social Media Week Lima. It's one of those things that I will go to every year forever. So I hope you have it forever.
I've been going to Rich Brooks' Agents of Change. I've gone for 3 years, 2 years I was a speaker. Similar kind of feel. It's an intimate conference. It's one track. That I keep going. I'll keep going whether I speak or not. And I'm pretty sure that's going to happen with this one too. I've been following you before the pandemic, Jessika, with your group and seeing all my friends there and thinking, I have to go to this. So I'm excited. Thanks for that, Jen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible. Like you will be going, I'll be seeing you every year there.
Yeah.
And I'm pumped.
I love it. I love it because like attracts like in my mind. So I think it's the same people that really are showing up to co-create, right? I think this is going to be a monumental event because people are knowing that we're all there to do this, to do business the right way, and to really look at opportunities to support one another, to create together, and really leave us some ideas to do so we can really show up next year. I'm excited to roll out next year's theme. By the way, it just came to me last night and approved this morning by the team. So we'll be rolling it out shortly, but it really is going to be the next level of what do we do after we co-create? So I'm excited to share that with all of you. But thank you, ladies, for showing up. I cannot wait to hear your talks. Jen, I know you always show up with something amazing. And yes, you pivot when you hear from the community of what they want to hear. And Kate, I've heard so many great things about you from Vivika and from everyone that knows you and just how you show up. And I've seen your content online, and you truly are someone that walks the walk and does the work and has the results to do so. As I mentioned earlier, that's who we bring in, everyone, like the people that are not just talking about it, they're doing it and they have results to show for it. So definitely, ladies, please drop in the comments where people can connect with you online as well before the event and to learn more about you. And I can't wait to see you next week.
All right.
I can't wait either.
Bye, everybody.
Love you guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Love you. Bye. And Mike, before my internet drops out yet again, I'll have you introduce. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it today. Through here. Bye, Kate. I'm sorry. I'm trying to move it. It's not cooperating today with me. So I'm trying here. But Mike, I'll have you introduce our next guest.
Yes. Thrilled to introduce my friend and the MC, Chad Ia Peterson. And he is a compelling storyteller. He's doing live video all over the place, and he helps businesses find and craft the stories that they didn't even know that they can create a deeper connection and an open portal of belonging. So welcome, Chad, man.
Hi.
Just
Good to have you here.
Glad to be here.
He's not excited at all about Social Media Week Lima at all. No.
I cannot wait. I've got my bags packed. Made it awkward because I have nothing to wear here at home now, but I'm ready to go.
Good. All right. Let me take a moment here. I got to bring in Mark. Mark Suter is always a student, sometimes a teacher. He's a computer science, game design, entrepreneurship teacher for over 16 years. His classroom's a hybrid of mad scientist laboratory and traveling circus. Mistakes are encouraged. Welcome, Mark. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be here.
All right.
Had me at circus.
All right. That's right. Yes,
of course.
Yeah, I love it. Mark was reading your bio, Chad, yesterday. He was like, what? I was like, oh, yeah, just wait till he's MC. So hopefully everyone is ready and prepared for laughter. And we might be starting early, but you will definitely not be asleep with Chad being the MC and introducing everyone and sharing along. You are someone that's been to the event too. Is this your third year, Chad?
Yes, third. I think third.
Okay.
Third, yeah.
All right.
Third.
And Mark, this is your second year?
Second,
right?
yes. First as a
All right.
speaker.
All right. So I wanted to ask both of you. I know, Chad, you are doing a table talk, but also the MC of the event. What is something that you are wanting to share with the community this year that is attending Cocreate, and why do you think it's important?
Oh my goodness. I just want everybody to go away with a huge understanding of the power of synergy. That when the sum is greater than the whole of its parts, or the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. It's one of those two ways, is the way the phrase goes. But there's just, for me, I love doing things with others, and new ideas that you can come up with when you get outside of yourself and outside of your own little box. That's what I hope people realize. We get stuck, and when you co-create, it helps you get unstuck.
Break some barriers, lift some lids, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You or you try something that one you wouldn't have thought of, or just that you were uncomfortable doing before. But when someone's there next to you and walking side by side, suddenly some of the things that were scary in the world of content creation aren't so scary anymore.
They're doable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good.
No, I love that. Jen says she loves this energy. Yes, yes, yes. I feel like that sums it up perfectly, Chad. I know we've had the opportunity to co-create a little bit together on both the Now and Them show and some others that we'll definitely be sharing throughout the event. And Julia says, I am both nervous and excited for Chad to see. Took the words right out of my mouth. No, but we trust Chad. It's going to be fun. So much fun. Mark, what are you going to be sharing with the community, and why do you feel it's important?
So I'm obsessed with VR. I'm a VR nerd. That's what I put in as my name today. I am a high school computer science teacher, but I also have had opportunity to travel around to different countries around the US and sit down with companies and see what are they using VR for, or augmented reality or mixed reality, which I'll explain later. But I really want to show everybody that it is now accessible, whereas a year or 3 or 5 years ago, it really was not realistic for most companies, especially small to medium-sized businesses, to really dip their toes into VR. But now it's a lot more turnkey. There's a lot more solutions and opportunities out there that they can turn to, but maybe they just haven't seen what that looks like. It's easier to be like, hey, jump into the VR bandwagon because it's really cool. It's like, well, what does that even look like? How does that get started? And what are like the end results? What are the goals? All those little things that are kind of abstract right now, I think, to a lot of organizations. I want to kind of bring those home to give concrete examples.
Beautiful. Because I think
thank you, Julia. Thank you to Julia. That was very kind.
That was very kind of her. Yes, Mark. I think it's timely, just because, like as you said, what's possible now that wasn't possible a year ago, right? I mean, but 3 years ago specifically. So this is something that people need to be. Business leaders need to be educated on, need to be watching, staying up to date on. So very timely, very looking forward to that.
My biggest problem with VR is I have to take a Dramamine before I put on the goggles,
Well,
and then I'm so out of it that I miss whatever happened.
We couldn't be talking about that though. Yeah.
Then most of the apps you might be using might not be made well, because when I teach VR development, there are very strict guidelines on how you show motion and teleport around, because if you don't do it right, you make the user sick. So
somebody should tell Disney, because most of those things at Disney, the VR rides,
too much motion. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I think Mark, you had shared about the examples that you're going to be sharing, so everyone can see how this can apply to them. So it's not just like, oh, it's a Disney thing. Of course they're going to create VR, because that's what they do. They create, these fantasy worlds, but taking it down to the most basic applications that maybe we hadn't thought of or considered on how can we, go back to Rich and Jordache and everybody's points, and they're talking about consistency and how can we replicate things so we have that consistency with everybody in our business and are able to bring our customers in for some of the things that we're doing to give us more feedback, to co-create, get these other ideas. But on the most basic level, on maybe even training or onboarding or things that we can replicate and make sure that are consistent, how can VR play a role in that? And then what is the outcome of that? What does that look like if we can apply that? I know we've worked on several projects together, several more that are in the works, but I'm excited for you to share some of those examples.
Sure. So when it comes to, you say Disney, and then it could be like Google just purchased a couple of companies that they're going to be working into their smart glasses. And it's like, okay, like you said, very mass, right? The big companies, but what are the local ones? Well, there is something as simple as, like right now, Delta has a training app for people that are working on the tarmac. They don't have time in the real world to train employees in those few minutes while the plane has landed and go around and say, okay, check this, check this, check this. Did you recognize any damage on the plane? Well, now they're training their employees, actually actively using it to train them over halfway through. It's not always used to train them from 0 to 100% and be like, deploy the employee to the real world. It'll be to take care of that first 50% or first 70%. And so now they're expected to just teleport around this virtual world where there's a plane and there's damage on the plane, and they just have to identify things. And so any size company, an organization can do things like that. Even if it's something
do the
as
passengers
simple.
talk back in the VR world?
There's no passengers. But they're on the tarmac. They're underneath the plane. And so they have to follow safety protocol. They have to identify problem areas. And that same thing could be applied in something as simple as, like, what if my organization is in charge of certifying home daycare centers? Well, what are they going to do? Well, they could be tasked with identifying problem areas like sharp corners for little kids' heads. And it just, there's always different applications of these very simple turnkey solutions that if my students in high school can develop these things for actual companies, that the development has been so compressed. The timeline is so much shorter now and so much easier and so much faster that it's worth taking a look at now.
Yeah. Okay. And even like co-creating. So like one of the projects we're working on, without giving too much away, is for a company that's going to, well, two of them actually, one that was created, one that's going to be created, but the one that's in the works is a game for this company to use at trade shows to engage with prospects. And the game is like asking questions and then doing a simulation, and it's gamifying the engagement with them to create a more memorable experience. But during that game where they're challenging somebody to answer these questions before action takes place, without giving too much away, they're able to still train on things that make them unique in the process. So it's asking a series of questions. So it could be like, what's the appropriate way to fix this repair? And the person would answer, and then you give back, yes, they were correct, and then explain why you have, worked in this method, right? Another one is like touring around for a place that isn't built yet, Crossroads. I know I've shared it on Magnet Marketer before, to get people to imagine what it will look like at the end of the day.
Yep. Architectural visualization is the fancy way, but it's exploding right now because they already make the CAD models. They've been using CAD models for, decades, but now they just simply throw it into a photorealistic environment, and now they can show potential investors, hey, why don't you go take a walk around this hotel apartment park? And they could be like, man, this is really cool. Like, I could see myself here. And that's them envisioning themselves in the position, which is exactly what you want, right? And so, and going back to going back to the gamified part is the person still feels like an active participant instead of a passive, right? So you go to the trade show, you watch the video, and you get a little handout, or you watch a video on the internet. But it's a lot different when you're standing there and you're like, okay, if I push this button here or I answer this question correctly or wrong, it's going to happen right here in front of me, and I can walk around it and actually see it from every angle and investigate it, where all those things were not possible just a few years ago, at least not at a price point that's realistic.
And have you ever been to a trade show booth where you want to come back and bring a friend with you to try it out? Like, usually
Yes.
not. Like, you should see this brochure. It was
Uh-huh.
so good.
Oh,
I want to
yeah.
bring you back to this trade. So, like, that's the point, right? Like, creating this experience that people want to be part of. It's evoking more senses. It's memorable, and it's creating a co-creation, right? And Chad, I know you were all about story too. You've talked about story here on the show, and it's really kind of crafting that. What does a brand want to be known for? And the story that they want to tell, how they want to make people feel, because that's the power of stories. And so I know you're doing a table talk later, but what do you feel co-creation means to you, and kind of power of stories within it?
Power of stories. Well, one of my favorite things to say is that stories, when we share them or we listen to others, it opens up a portal of belonging, right? And so when somebody can share a story that you can relate to in some way, the emotional connection is just,
Yes.
it's unlike anything. You know, when I spoke last year, and there might be some takeaways that people might be able to say, oh yeah, I remember this checkpoint or this, whatever. But there are people who still will message me even today and say, hey, I found a penny the other day and thought about you. And if you don't know what that means, you'll just have to go back and listen to that. But that story stuck. And so that's where the connections really are, you know, is that. And so co-creating and helping each other feel comfortable sharing and telling your stories and pulling things out of someone else's story that maybe they didn't realize was there. That's also a really fun thing. In fact, Judy Fox and I hung out the other day and just did this with stories, and it was fulfilling. And our friendship is tighter, and we both had moments where we realized and made conclusions about things that we hadn't thought about before. So it's fun. I'm looking forward to hopefully having chances to do that with other people while I'm there. I know I'm going to be busy, but.
No, I definitely think you will. And even before, during, after, whatever it looks like, but you're great at pulling out stories. And that's the other benefit of co-creating, I think, is finding somebody that maybe has that story to tell and another person that can bring it out and help you craft it in a way that makes it where it can be packaged in a very succinct, meaningful way where others can imagine themselves in it, right? Whether that's
because
creating
you
the app,
don't think it's relevant,
or-
right? So often we have our stories, we don't think they're relevant because they're just everyday life to us, and we don't realize that they formed us. And the reason we're doing what we're doing, or the product that we're selling, or the service that we're giving, we're doing it because the stories that shaped us and took us along the path that we've traveled got us to that point. So those stories are relevant, and people can connect with those.
Mark and I were just talking about this yesterday about like the things that are our gifts are so innate that we don't realize that it's our gift, right? And that's what I think co-creating too. It's like somebody else is like, no, that's really cool. Don't skip over that. Like, let's find out a way to expand upon that.
Oh yeah, I have imposter syndrome just being here with Chad and Jess and Mike. So I don't know if I really belong here. Did they invite the right person?
Yeah.
Like all the VR stuff you just talked about, I felt like my parents trying to figure out their password. You know, that's just like there's such a gap now. You're like the high school kids. I'm like I'm at that age now where the high school kids are doing the things that I'm gonna have to call them and have them help me.
Oh my gosh. Yes, we could talk to you both forever. I feel about like 15 minutes is way too short. But you said that, Chad, about, you feel out of place with VR, and I feel like many people do. But Mark's going to demystify that it's not as complicated, and that's what we really want people to know. So definitely, if you're not sure about the event, you haven't signed up, please visit sociallima.com and check out the lineup. We are going to be talking about how to co-create. This is going to be some of the topics there that you definitely want to get in front of for the event. Both Mark and Chad, thank you so much for your time. I cannot wait to see you all very, very, very soon. So definitely put your links in the chat there where people can connect with you before the event. And we have one last speaker to introduce, but before we do,
please let me stay.
I'm going to add one thing that I want to add to what Jen was saying earlier about the power and awesomeness of Jessika and her team at Now Marketing. Jessika, you are amazing on both a professional and a personal level, and I adore you.
Just let me stay because I promise you I am Crystal's biggest cheerleader.
Okay, well, we'll let you do that. And Mark, thank you so much. I will we have chat with you after. And thank you for spending some time here.
Can't wait to hang out,
sharing your
Mark.
wisdom. Yeah.
Me too, Chad. All right,
Sure.
see y'all.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Thanks, guys.
All right. All right. So it sounds like Crystal's going to be in for it here for cheerleading by Chad. So that could go one of two ways, Crystals. I know I haven't been able to meet you in person, so I'm just going to say I'm sorry and you're welcome at the same time. Okay. Go ahead, Mike. You can introduce her.
Wow. I just got to say that if I had a VR headset and it was inside Chad's mind, I think I would need Dramamine for that experience. So
Dramamine.
There you go. Something like that. Yeah. All right. All right. So excited here. Look at this. Crystal Tosh is coming in next. And listen to the name of this. She's the founder of Rockstar Social Media. Boom. I mean, do we need to say any more than that? Rockstar Social Media, a human-focused marketing agency that helps brands connect by harnessing the power of empathy. She's a self-proclaimed marketing rebel. Okay, so she's going to fit right in here in this group. She believes that there's no such thing as a template or cookie cutter approach to marketing. Her goal is to unbox brands, giving them permission to be who they really are online and with confidence. Authenticity is every brand's superpower. Welcome, Crystal.
I'm so excited to be here. Yay!
I was so excited to just even have like a video conversation with you. Like, I'm like, is it possible to fangirl over somebody you haven't even like had a conversation with? But I love how you show up online. I know this is why Chad wanted to stay in because, you know how to pick them too, Chad. Like, I think we got that good radar, good people radar. But Crystal, welcome. Cannot wait to meet you next week.
Yes, looking forward to meeting you in person.
Thank you so much. Well, Jessica, I feel the same way about you. Total fangirl. Chad, like, put me in your radar, I guess. And I was like, oh, she says relationship marketing. Like, oh my gosh, yes, it's all about relationships. So it was really cool. It's like I had like this little other person out there that's ahead of me that was speaking my language though. So it was really cool. I'm honored to be here.
Chad, you are quite the connector as well. I just love it. I love our community a lot, and everyone that's listening in, I think you guys can feel it and sense it that these are genuine people. They're really going to show up at the event and share the goods that really truly will impact your business. It's definitely a bunch of heart-centered visionaries that know their stuff though. They get results as well at the same time. So Crystal, I would love to hear from you just a little bit sneak peek of what you're going to be sharing in Lima.
So my whole talk is just about being your true self and, magnifying yourself with authenticity. So I think that where brands go wrong is they put themselves in these boxes based on some marketing tactic that they've learned along the way. And the way that we really magnetize our brands, as you guys always are talking about, is really kind of having the courage to show up as who we truly are. And, it's scary because we want everybody to love us, but no one's going to like really fall in love with us unless we're our like true authentic self. So I know there's a lot of talk in the world about authenticity, but it's really about like peeling back the onion layers, of like, well, I think I want to share this, but maybe I shouldn't share that. So vulnerability, authenticity, and empathy. The biggest, I think it's missing. I mean, my big thing is empathetic marketing too. So just how to be a real person.
Looking forward to that. And I think that, that, as you said, you're speaking. Did I hear Jessika say that too? So this is going to flow in line to be able to hear it from another person, from their perspective, but flowing in the same vein. So really looking forward to that.
Think it was like complementary, right? Like because there's an undertone. That's the goal of the event, right? It's like, here's the theme, co-create, and everyone that's doing this in the unique perspective, it's going to tie right into another. Right? Like of how, oh, they said that. Now I remember because they shared this and how does it relate?
Yeah. Absolutely.
We might have.
Jessika, somebody said freeze.
There she is. She's back.
Crystal's going to blow your mind.
I get so excited and then it just stops.
She's going to give so much freaking... Oh, it's just gonna. You guys just wait, and she's
gonna
put you in your place. She's gonna put you in your place. She just takes away your excuses, but she also understands why you make them, but also takes them away at the same time. It's gonna be
It
Good,
is.
good.
It's my thing. I love to give people permission to be themselves. It's like everyone just needs that cheerleader to say, you're awesome, your genius needs to be shared, and you just need to show up as you are and not try to wear the filter of someone else. And
she has cows.
I have cows and horses. I'm the farmer coming to the stage.
Oh, you fit right in. I just got chickens, so I'll have to show you the chickens, and we'll be good.
We can start a
No.
homestead.
And hopefully I don't freeze when I'm saying this, because I really wanted to say this part, was that I'm really loving what you're saying about, empathy marketing too, and how we're showing up. And it's just giving not only ourselves permission to show up as we are, but permission of where we may fall short as a brand too, and owning that, but then also owning the fact of how we're showing up for our customers and our clients and our community, of saying, look, let's work things out, co-create together on some things. It doesn't all have to be so rigid. The days of that's not our policy is really kind of gone, and it really ticks people off now. So while you do need to have rules and things, you also need to have empathy and understanding that if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense, right? And you need to be able to, whether that's your team and how they're showing up, working from home, or needing to be there for a family member, or, flexible with their work time, everything starting from the inside out again, and that's owning who you are, your team, and being understanding with them, and that empathy and how you show up for them and your customers will be how they show up for you. So it's a mirror back. I think that many brands have to really understand that it's shifted now. The veil of brands and customers are so much thinner that they get to see who we are, and we in return will be seen for who we are as a brand. And hopefully that's something that's going to match up and keep them with you longer as an organization.
Right. I totally agree. I think customers want to feel like there's a real person on the other side of that brand, and it makes you relatable and a way to connect, because we're all trying to connect, especially in this post-COVID world. And we want to connect like real people, not in the way we're supposed to or the way someone told us to, but that's what's so cool about this co-create thing. And I've always said it, cross-marketing and helping each other, whether you're a competitor. It's already been said like 4 times or 12 on this whole thing, but we really elevate each other when we come together and we celebrate each other. And we all have a unique genius that is a little bit different, and it's so cool to come together and help each other to build brands that care. And we do it better together, I think, and than to live in silos and try to be competitive. So,
Amen for that. Amen for that. So I think you already kind of mentioned that, with the co-create is better together, but is there anything else that you think is really important for brands to embrace today as it relates to co-create, or the thing that you're most looking forward to when you come to the event?
Well, I think that in these type of situations, when you put a lot of brilliant people together that have this heart-centered approach, there's going to be so much explosion, I think, that comes out of this event, of just elevating each other's brands and helping really create diverse, inclusive, amazing communities. And it's so different than there's a whole nother marketing world out there that we won't mention, but it's so competitive and so cutthroat, and it's so money driven, and we're all here to make money and do things right to make a living. But also, I think the difference with your event and what you're creating and what I think we're all creating is impact. It's more about impact and creating, a vision for a better world, not just to make everybody $1. So I'm super excited about it.
Amen. Love more, give more, be more. That's what is my personal mission. I really do believe that. I think if we all do what's right, I think I'm trying to think who mentioned it. I think it was Jordache too. It was it's a long end game, right? You're not going to. It may not be the quick riches right away, but we will be the brands that are the last ones standing with profitable, sustainable results, and feeling good about it if we do show up to have that impact, because that's what we're all truly, the only thing we can kind of take with us is our legacy at the end of the day. And I think or the only thing that will live on, I should say. And I think that we as brands have to think beyond just the dollars, because that's empty, so I'm excited for what will happen here too.
Thank you so much. I agree. I'm so pumped to meet everybody in real life, real person.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to her presentation. So,
Absolutely.
Well, I just need some music. Apparently, we're supposed to pick music. I haven't done that yet, so maybe I'll just leave it up to Chad and see what.
I think we should ask the community what you've heard.
I have an idea.
Here. We know a little bit more about what she's going to be talking about. What's a good song for Crystal? Maybe scope out her profile. Crystal, where's the best place for people to find you to get a good sense of where?
I am all over Facebook. It's kind of my home. I hang out there a lot. Instagram too, but Facebook is just kind of my favorite place to play.
You're big on Twitter too, right?
Oh, it's huge. I have 6 followers now, I think. Or maybe
her Power 6, is that like what network was that? MySpace?
I loved that though when I found out that about her, right? Because she's doing great. She's has all these things that are happening for her, but she's not trying to like be everywhere and do all the
I'm not everywhere. I am the quintessential, like, I have built a very amazing business by showing up one place really well and a couple of other places and building real connections though, which I know Jessica's all about. It's like those real in the community connections that grow, and building, a community of raving fans. Maybe they aren't your clients, but they love you and they share you. So
amen. Yeah, you don't need the 10 million followers you don't need all that.
And she wasn't everywhere. That's a beautiful story right there. Yeah, you drilled down deep in one. Yeah.
Going deeper, not wider. Yeah. So check out Crystal on Facebook and let's help her pick a song.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Oh man. Well, I have to say this was the shortest / longest technically with the technology today, but went really fast with all the amazing speakers and introductions to the event time that we've had for this Social Media Week Lima party. Crystal, I thank you so much for showing up here today. Chad, thank you. Mike, thank you for holding down the fort as I popped in and out. And thank all of you for joining in with us this week too. Next week, we will not be here because we are going to be getting ready for the event. So get your tickets, everyone. You got to go to sociallima.com. You'll get to see these amazing speakers and more. This is just a little taster of some of the speakers that are going to be at the event. It's going to be amazing, and we have the best time. And we'd love for you to hang out with us and get to know you as well by joining in with us. And if you are already signed up, yay, get active in the group. Now you've met some of the speakers that are going to be there. So start some conversations. I always say that magic happens before, during, of course, but after, before and after the event takes place is where the real magic happens. So can't wait to give all of you guys hugs and just see you in real life, meet you in real life, Crystal, and all of you. I can't wait to see you that are joining in with us for Social Media Week Lima. Until then, we'll be back in 2 weeks for Magnet Marketers. Our goal is always to help you become a magnet with your marketing versus being a bullhorn. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week and look at ways that you, too, can co-create. All right, everyone. See you back here 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Yeah.